over how to create templates. This is for sure one of the most advanced things you can do in DocuSign. Normally you wouldn't really do this, but it is an option, so I will show you how to do so, just in case that is something that you would like to do. So I'm going to go into an opportunity so I can get over to DocuSign. Let's see here. Let's see. There we go. All right. So I'm going to get over to DocuSign. That way we can start on how to create a template. So now this would be something that is for your personal use. So if you have a specific document or something like that you need a template of, like let's say you have like a client profile sheet or something that you use in every transaction that you want to send to your client every single time, or you know, something along those lines. Like I said, this is extremely advanced DocuSign here. So we're going to go forward with creating that. So there are two types of DocuSign that everybody has. Everyone has the DocuSign rooms, which is what we do our transaction stuff in. And then everyone also has the e-signature platform, which is DocuSign's base functionality. So templates actually have to be created within the e-signature platform. So you need to switch over to e-signature to create that template. You do need to have a PDF version of that form that you need to create. So we're going to go right here to templates, and you would just hit create new. So I'm going to browse the desktop here. That way I can find a document to create a template of, so I can show you how to do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to create your template name. I'm going to go and find the document first, just because I need to see what the computer's got here in the training room. So let's see. Okay. So I'm just going to pick one that we have here. So I'm just going to choose this waiver form. We already have one of these in the system already, but let's just say that I'm creating the template for one. You would use this exact same way to create a template for any form. So it doesn't have to just be a waiver or whatever. It's the same for every single form. So I'm just showing you the basic steps on how to do that. So you would upload your document, the PDF version, and then you would give it a title. So here I'm going to put waiver form. There's the document. So here you are going to add who would be the signing people on this document. So you can of course go and you can view the document. So on here we have a spot for buyers to sign. This is a buyer form. There's no need for a seller to sign this document. But if you did have a document that you needed a seller, that was an option to be used on both sides. So like if you're creating a contract, the contract you would have to have spots for buyers and spots for sellers. So right here, we're just going to have buyer one, and you are really creating this out. Like this is full on advanced DocuSign. So you are creating a form. So there are 2 spots on this form for a buyer to sign, so therefore we have to have a buyer 1 and buyer 2. This would be the same thing for a document that you have like a seller on. So let's pull, so like if you were to talk about, let's say the contract, where you have a spot for both the buyer and the seller to sign, you would need to create a template that would allow for a buyer and a seller to sign, because let's say you have the selling side of this document, the seller's going to need to sign it. Okay, well, if you have the buyer side of the document, then the buyer's going to need to sign. So we have to create those fields out. So this one's just buyer 1, buyer 2, and you can add, this one has a witness, so witness 1. You could also do a witness 2 if you wanted to. Alrighty, and then all of them are going to need to sign. You're going to leave the name and the email blank, because this will be filled in later. So once you're actually using this document, Command will have their contact info in there, and then when you create the opportunity and click go to transaction, their names and emails come in. So you are just creating, essentially you're adding the check boxes and all that good stuff before you actually use the document. So we're just telling the system who is on this document. All right, so then we're just going to go to next. So this is where we physically fill out the document. So we have a signature for buyer 1 that's going to need to go here. And then we have a signature for buyer 2 that's going to need to go there. All right, and then we have the same for witness 1 and witness 2. So like I said, you are physically filling out the document. Okay, so we also need a date signed for each. So I'm going to stick it right over here. Date signed, switch to witness 1, date signed, and do that for each person on the document. Okay, and you would do that the rest of the way down the document. Okay, you would fill it out. All right, it would literally be the exact same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight it all. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it, because that's just going to be easier for me. So there should be 2 back there. 1 sec. Let's see. There we go. There's an additional set. 2. Let's, oh no. Of course, you end up messing it up on the training video. Of course. So we're going to copy, and then I'm going to paste and drag it down. Here we go. And then we're going to paste again. Drag and pull them down. All right, I think we have 1 more. Actually, we have 2 more. I'm going to paste. Drag them down. I'm using the rolling part of my mouse to allow me to drag this where it needs to go. And then we got to paste 1 more time for that bottom set. So I'm going to scroll down. Keep on scrolling. Here we go. This mouse in here is a lot more touchy than most mouses are. I'm just going to keep on scrolling. Here we go. That's that. Okay. Great, so that's everybody's initials, signatures, whatever we need for this document. We also have this text box that's gonna need to be filled out. So we can fill this out in either one of these, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm gonna add a recipient to here, and I'm going to add a role, and I'm gonna add the agent role. Okay, now this role doesn't actually have a spot to sign, but the agent role does allow for me to add a text box in here that we need to fill out. We don't want to make this a required field, but we do want to make it a read-only field. The read-only field will allow for anyone who looks at this document to see the text in this document or in this bubble. So we do want to make it read-only. Okay. All right. But it's not required for anybody to sign. It's just a box. So then we're going to go and do that same thing to all of the other ones that need text boxes. Scroll down, stick them all in here. I'm just going to move this one over. Whoops, that's a title. I don't need that. Need text box. Read only. Actually, sorry guys, like I said, this is very advanced DocuSign thing, so I'll learn as we go too. So actually, we don't want to make this a read-only box. We just want it to be a standard box, just a box in general. So what we are going to do, because if this is a read-only for this person, only the person who is assigned to this box will be able to see it, and we don't want that. Oh, I don't know what all that is. So what we want to do here, I'm going to delete this out. And once you get to adding this box into the actual document, you can then assign who needs to see it. So once you have that box in there, let's say buyer 1 and buyer 2 are going to need to see it. So there's a text there. It's assigned to buyer 1 for read only. That means they don't have to sign it. And then if the same thing is required for buyer 2, let's see. Actually, you know, it's just going to be easier. It's going to be the easiest is when you actually use that template, if you add that in there then, because then they will actually have to sign that document. So just add it in when you get ready to use it. So for in here, when you are creating templates, just create the template for, say, like signature purposes. If you put like a company name out there, it's going to automatically put our company name. If you put the name field out there for buyer 1, it's going to automatically stick their name in that field. A lot of these down here you don't really use apart from the text box and maybe a check box. We don't use drop down radio or payment items. And we also don't use anything down in here. So these check box up is mainly going to be the fields that you will use. This document is pretty much ready for saving. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hit save and close. So it doesn't send to anyone. It just sits right here in my templates. That was one I was playing with earlier. So we're going to delete that one. All right, so now what we're going to do that we've created that template is we're going to switch to the rooms form of DocuSign, because let's say I need to use that within a transaction. So we're going to go to this training 3 room. Let's say I need to use that document. So I'm going to go into the envelopes. Envelopes is the only place that you can use templated documents. You cannot add them to the Documents tab. You can only add them in the envelope. They will then appear in the Document tab once they've been signed, but you need to pull them into the envelope stage. The Documents tab are for documents that the company created and are using. Your personal templates or not, does not fall under that category. So we're going to go to New. We're going to hit Use a Template. So these are going to pop up the templates that you've created. All right, so then you're going to hit Add Selected. And then this is just the exact same as all of your other envelopes. All right, so we're going to have a pre-tagged role. We got a buyer 1 because we created that. All right, and I'm going to say training 3, and we don't really have anyone else in here, so we're just going to hit add. All right, so there's that. We're going to go to next, and if we look, when we hit next, it's automatically got on there. Oh, I forgot to delete that extra signature field. There we go. So it's already got on here all the spots for that buyer 1 to sign. If we added a buyer 2, their signature would pop here. If we added a witness, those would pop up over there. So I can show you that later. We can pretend that we have a buyer 1 and a buyer 2. But you created it with all 4 of these, so therefore when you assign someone those roles, those signature fields will pop up. So we have their signature and date there. We can add the text here that we need for them to see, whatever that is. In this case, it is actually a company name, so we can stick, you can just type in Keller Williams. I'll do that right here. Williams, and you can do that in whichever box they're actually needing to sign. And then you would just hit send. So it's a normal document otherwise, and it will come back into your envelopes. You just have extra steps when it comes to creating that template. I know it's a lot, and it is difficult. That's why I said this is very advanced DocuSign. I'm still learning how to do it myself, so this video is kind of crazy. That's why. There is a video that I can send if you are needing to do that. So I know this video is probably not very helpful. But if you do want to create your own templates, you can always come to me and I can forward you the video that I learned all this from. And you can start that template building if that's something that you need to do. So there's that. Like I said, the system's the exact same for any document. So just keep that in mind. And happy creating. All right, we will end it there, and well, there's the lights. So we will end there, and then if need anything or anything like that, just let me know. All right, thanks guys.